after that where we don't have to. Well, I'd say where we left off, but this kind of doesn't matter now. Hank? 1 through 20, yeah. Alright. Who wants to try number 1? Alright, James.
Subtract 3. Divide by -5, and that would change the sign.
Right. So the inequality switches when you divide by negative, you guys recall. We are supposed to graph this first few 5 questions. So I think a couple people counted backwards on the graphs. It should be -3, -2, -1. Some people didn't even graph hardly at all. Took a point off. So should the circle be open or closed? Closed. Are we going left or right?
No,
X.
that's not what it was.
Right.
Is that not number 1?
That's backwards. Because it originally started with.
Oh, okay. You're right. Switched.
Is this an assignment or is this just like notes?
Sorry.
So do I have to do this like
Negative z over 2 plus 4 less than. All right.
He doesn't always.
Lauren or Abby, who wants to do this one? Abby. Okay, go ahead. Yes, and then? No, right now this is z divided by 2. How do I get rid of a divide by 2? Right. So not only am I going to multiply by 2, but I also want to get rid of the negative. So I'm going to multiply by -2. What did I do wrong? Right, when you multiply or divide by the negative, the inequality needs to switch. So 3, 4, 5. Is the circle open or closed? Closed. Now we're going left or right? Use greater than 4 is to the right. Okay, Ken, what should we do on 5? -10. Okay, when we divide by a negative, the inequality switches. So y is, oh yeah, we're not graphing anymore. Oh yeah, 5 is the last graph here. Okay, -8, -7, -6. You said open circle going to the right. Number 7. Okay, Case, what should we do on this one?
Subtract 5. 25, which should give you 20.
I did notice on this assignment we turned in yesterday, a lot of people got like, I don't know, it was 15 through 18 partially wrong because you didn't do the whole directions, which means you weren't listening when I was doing it. So you might want to pay a little bit better attention. All right, now what Case?
Then you would divide by 2/3.
Okay, 20 divided by 2/3 is the same thing as 20 times 3/2. You flip the divisor. Those cancel out. So it's 10 times 3, 30 over 1 times 1. 30 over 1 is equal to 30. So yield equal to 30. Brianna, you might have the worst spot because I usually stand over there. I mean, that you can't see very well, can you?
And you're going a bit too fast.
Okay, the best way to do these problems is like on your own and then make sure you match with me. That way you don't have to look up and copy everything. You just do it. All right, number 9. I forgot what it was.
So, on 7, you divide by 2/3.
Yes. All right, Corbin, what should we do first on number 9?
Add the variables together, which would be c, and then c minus 12 is
It'd be kind of looks like an L, so that's called a less than.
less than negative, and then
Yeah, so we did the first step in our head. We put the C's together. Okay, go ahead.
and then add 12 to each side.
All right. Brooke, what should we do on this one?
You could add 9 to 9.
Okay, you could, and that would be fine, but usually when there's the variable on both sides, let's take care of that first. How do we take care of the m's?
-2.
Okay. -2, because you kind of want to know where you want to move stuff away from first. It depends on which side you put the variable. So you want to get rid of the variable on one side. She said -2m. That'll get rid of it over here. And what?
Subtract 9.
Subtract the 9. -9 minus 9. A lot of people get that wrong. -18, so -18 is less than m, or if I'm reading the answer, it would say m is greater than -18. If you read it backwards. All right, 13. Owen, what can we do on 13 first?
We can subtract the like variables.
Right. -5r minus 2r is
-7r.
-7r. Okay, now what?
We can add 6r to -7r, or we can do the other way.
And it's in that way first, so I guess we're on this way. -r plus 6. You might want to go the other way, because that way you don't have a negative on the r's, but that's okay. Now what?
We can subtract 6.
Then?
No, she went the other way. We can just divide -1 with an r.
Okay, divide by -1, which does what?
Turns to a positive.
Turns it to a positive, and
Sign switch.
switches the inequality. So 3 is greater than or equal to r, or r is less than or equal to 3. All right, Miranda, what can we do on 15? Or, yeah, 15 first.
Add 7, add negative 7.
Okay, you could add 7, but what can we do on the right side to make it simpler?
Add 3.
There's a 6y and a plus 2y on the right side. So those can go together. So you can do 6y plus 2y and just make that an 8y on the right. Okay, you could add 7, you could add 3, but what can we do about the y's? What do we need to do about the y's?
Cancel one of them out.
Yes, and how do we do that?
Minus 8y.
Yes. Minus 8y, minus 8y. So we got 1y, just y, minus 7, less than or equal to negative 3. And now?
Plus 3.
Nope. So we got the y minus 7 on the left side. So how do we get the y by itself over here?
Divide.
So I want to get this guy by himself on this side of the inequality. So how do I get rid of the minus 7?
Plus 7.
Yeah. All right. Getting close, getting close. 17. They're getting bigger. Moses, what should we do first on 17?
17. We should add 6 to both sides.
Nah, probably not that first. How can we simplify the left side there?
Oh, you can do. Should add 2z plus negative 8.
Negative 8/3 z plus 2. How could we do that without a calculator? Well, what's 8/3 as a mixed number?
Let's wait.
8 divided by 3 is 2 with remainder of 2. So it's like negative 2 2/3
Which is negative.
plus 2, which is,
Negative 2.
it'd be negative 2/3. Z minus 6 less than or equal to 3z plus 5. All right. Now what?
Then we can move over 6 by adding it to both sides.
Okay, let's do the z's first. What can we do with the z's?
Will be simple to just add 2/3 z to 3z.
Yeah, a little bit easier to add 2/3 z. Okay, that will get rid of the negative 2/3 z. Over here, 3 plus 2/3 is
3 and 2/3.
3 2/3. You could change that to an improper, but we'll see like that.
And then we subtract 5 on both sides.
Okay, yeah. We're trying to get z by itself, so we need to get rid of this number and this number, but we're going to get rid of the plus number first, minus 5.
And then we divide by 3 and 2/3.
Okay, yeah, this would be a pain to do by hand, but I'm going to do it anyway. So dividing by 3 and 2/3, 3 and 2/3, 3 times 3 plus 2 is 11/3. So if we're dividing by 11/3, we're actually multiplying by 3/11. So it's going to be
Negative 3.
-3. Does the inequality switch?
No.
No. We're dividing by a positive 3 2/3, so the inequality does not switch. Alright. 19 looks simpler. Okay, I'm thinking maybe they wanted us to get rid of the fractions, but it's probably just easier to do it normally. Not get rid of the fractions. So, Brianna, do you know what the first step for this one will be? Okay, Brianna, let's pretend this was a problem right here. What would we do first? If this was a problem.
You would subtract
Right. So on this one, what should we do first? Subtract what?
5/6.
Okay, don't, just because they're fractions, don't let that freak you out. You just do the same stuff. Okay, so that's gonna go away. This one, okay, you can use your calculator, but to do it by hand, we need a common denominator, right? So this would be how you do it. -3 minus 10 is -13/12. And then, if this were the problem, Rena, we would have had this, but what would be our last step here? Divide by 11, right? Okay, so over here, what's our last step gonna be?
Times.
11/8 is multiplied to the y. How do we get rid of the multiplied value?
Divide.
Divide. So we're gonna divide by 11/8. Divide by 11/8. You could just use the division button on your calculator. -13/12 divided by 11/8. That is the same thing as multiplying by 8/11. Divide those by 4. Kind of a mess.